What is corruption? For me, it's really simple. Corruption is the abuse of entrusted power for private gain. How is this issue relevant and why is it relevant for me? I remember a few years ago I asked my parents, why is Mexico so down in aspects of development and economics if we have such good working people, we have such a lot of resources, and we are in a really good geological position? And I remember my father responding so easily because of corruption. We have normalized corruption, I assume, years later. And we should not. Corruption erodes trust, weakens democracy, harvests economics, development, and future inequalities, poverty, and social division. Now, I have seen a lot of perspective about corruption. I have seen it in a political cost, your freedom and the rule of law, in a social cost, your participation and even your trust in your own government, the environmental cost, your chance for a healthy environment and sustainable future, and of course, the economical perspective, that is your opportunity to build and grow wealth. And if I have understand something about this communication intercultural course, is that if we as humans lost the hope for a better future, the hope for have an opportunity to build and grow wealth, we don't have nothing left. If we don't have a purpose to fight, all fights will be lost already. Sadly, I consider that there's not a concrete solution for corruption. I think corruption is so connected to human behavior that the only thing you can do is fight corruption. But to fight corruption, we must embrace transparency. Transparency is all about knowing who, why, what, how, and how much. It means shedding light on formal and informal rules, plans, process, and actions. Transparency helps us, the public, hold all power to account for the common good. Seeking and receiving information is a human right that can act as a safeguard against corruption and increases trust in decision makers and public institutions. However, transparency is not only about making information available, but ensuring that it can be easily accessed, understood, and used by citizens. Another proposal that I gave for this is the objective of this proposal is to eliminate corruption, not only in a governmental way, eradicate it from all public and private institutions, and more importantly, from society. Because we already know that a society with its roots in corruption is a society that will never find development. How? Easy. I consider that the most effective weapon against this issue is education. A well-educated community will always be informed about its government and will always seek for transparency and justice. A society that knows what is right and wrong will find a way to eliminate corruption from all levels and find a way to development. In local way, education will have a huge impact. How will be certain to live in a more honest and honored community. And this will be reflected not only in the government, we will be reflected that in security, in employment, and of course in a global scale. We already know, for examples as developed countries like New Zealand, like East Iceland and Greenland, what happens if we put education as a priority. And who knows, maybe someday we will live in a world where everybody is honest and responsible and respectful. I think that is the fight we need to fight. Personally, I just found one problem in this solution, and the problem is time. Education is a long-term solution. If we start imparting those anti-corruption education systems from now, the results will appear in 50 or 60 years because we are focusing in the new generations. And sadly, governments are not used to do that type of decision. It's just how humans behave. We will always want the result from one day to another. But it's not impossible. It's our right as citizens to ask more quality in our public schools. We just need to be heard. Because, as Aristotle once says, The roots of education are bitter, but the fruit is really sweet. Thank you.